plans for the weekend?
You know, take kids to soccer, barbecue.
Dave? Is that you?
"75 years later."
Grenade!
Alright, now let's actually review the gun. As we can see here, we're going to start out with the stock. Now the stock has a nice rubber butt pad that will give you lots of grip on your shoulder so your gun will stay steady and sturdy whenever you're shooting. It has a nice big stock allowing you to rest your cheek on there or your head, whatever. It allows you to rest properly and allows you to get a nice view of your sight picture or the iron sights. It's a very nice stock. It has a sling mount on the top and this little metal thing. It also houses the battery. To open it, you have to take off the rubber butt pad by unlocking it at the bottom and then pushing down and out. You then remove the little plastic part at the end, and once you remove the little plastic part, you then plug in your battery, and boom. You then reverse the process, and now you got yourself your gun ready to shoot. You have your buffer tube. The buffer tube is metal, and the wiring to power the gun goes through the buffer tube. Next up, we have the motor grip. The motor grip is a very nice and sleek style of grip. It doesn't have any grip tooths like there are on my gun. However, it has a nice textured grip, not like a diamond checkered pattern, but more like a just kind of random bumpy pattern. It's quite nice, it's slick. It allows you to not only get a nice grip on your gun, but also still allows you to be able to switch it to your secondary or other weapon or do something with your firing hand or whatever. Here we have the magazine. The magazine is a nice polymer magazine. It has ribs on it to allow you to grip it much better, and by the sound, is a high cap magazine. It has a wound wheel on the bottom for loading the rounds for the high cap magazine, and is inserted like any other M4 magazine. The mag release is a nice little mag release. It's not only enlarged, but it's also ambidextrous. If you flip the gun over to the other side, where usually there would just be a little annoying piece of metal that pokes out of your gun every time you press the mag release, but now here, instead, we have this nice ambidextrous mag release allowing you to do some swifter reloads. Now to the fire selector. The fire selector is a very nice fire selector, and I like it a lot. As you can see, it looks a little different than most M4/M16 style fire selectors. It still has normal, safe, semi-auto, and full auto. However, it has a much, I would say, snappier response to whenever you're manipulating it, rather than some of the other triggers that I've used. The bolt release, of course, is a bolt release and acts like any other bolt release would, and releases the bolt. It's simple as that. To release the bolt, what you first need to do is open the charging handle. Once you open the charging handle, you will then have the dust cover come off. You will also have the little fox slide or fake slide come back. Once it's fully back, you'll then hit the bolt release, and the bolt release will lock or will force the slide forward, allowing it to cover the the thingy, the hop up. Now let's actually talk about the hop up. As you can see, the hop up is a rotary style hop up that is manipulated with your fingernail or anything else that you can use to manipulate it. I'm not a fan of this fire selector. However, there's not really an issue of it coming undone and like loosening or tightening and messing with your hop up, unlike the gear hop up that I have on my other M4, which on that gear hop up, it's not necessarily the best because it will in fact move, and it will mess up the hop up, and it will go up or down or just really any direction whatsoever. On top of the receiver, we have the Picatinny rail system. There's a 20mm Picatinny rail system allowing you to mount all sorts of optics. We also have flip-up sight. However, I would like to go over a couple more internals. So it has a V2 gearbox and just a motor grip, or a motor, in the motor grip. So yeah, it has a nice V2 motor grip and shoots at around 400 to 420 feet per second. However, I wouldn't be surprised if it shot a little harder, because with the batteries that we have here, these are just the standard batteries. But anyways, I would not be surprised if it shot harder, because it leaves a nasty welt when you get shot by this thing, because it is honestly, it's a beast when it comes to shooting. So yeah, that's pretty much all for the internals. On top, we have the receiver. The receiver, of course, is just the standard receiver, like I just explained. It has a rear flip-up hop-up sight, or rear flip-up sight. It's just a nice. It's it's just a little peephole sight. I am not a fan of the peephole sight, mainly because you don't get that good of a sight picture. It's definitely darker, more cloudy when it comes to the sight picture. But it's better than nothing. And then again, you're not really going to be aiming much when you're shooting an airsoft gun. Going to the other side, you have, of course, the other flip-up sight. The other flip-up sight has a thin front sight post, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's okay. However, you do have a nice long rail system all along the handguard and receiver to allow you to get all of your optics on there. There's also a key mod rail system on all different angles on the handguard, as you can see. That allows you to fit all sorts of flashlights, lasers, grips, and such onto it. It has a It has a metal inner and outer barrel. It also has a 14mm negative 14mm thread. Once you take off the front muzzle device, you'll be able to put any 14mm negative suppressors, tracer units, or other muzzle brakes on the gun. That's pretty much all for this. That's kind of all we actually have on here. But some of the stuff that we have on here, we have a red dot, and of course we have a flashlight. The flashlight is just a little cheap flashlight. All right, that's all we have for today in this week's video of this review. I hope you all enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Yeah, remember, have a good one. All right, bye.